In a near-future Detroit crumbling under the weight of crime, decay, and privatization, the streets have become a war zone, and the law is losing ground. Amid riots, strikes, and rampant corruption, a powerful corporation named Omni Consumer Products, OCP, has seized control of the Detroit Police Department. In their gleaming towers of steel and glass, they don't see citizens, only shareholders. And in the heart of their strategy lies Delta City, a dream of a privatized utopia built on the ashes of old Detroit. But dreams like that require control. Absolute, mechanical control. From the minds of OCP executives comes a chilling answer. ED-209, a heavily armed enforcement droid designed to replace human police. But the dream turns nightmare when ED-209 malfunctions during a boardroom demonstration.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
Blowing junior executive Mr. Kinney to pieces in front of horrified colleagues. The boardroom grows silent, except for the screams and smoke. In the wake of this catastrophe, an ambitious upstart named Bob Morton, played by Miguel Ferrer, seizes the opportunity to pitch his alternative, the RoboCop program. Human conscience merged with machine precision, and for that, they need a body. Someone already dead, but legally still alive. That someone is Officer Alex Murphy, portrayed by Peter Weller. A good cop transferred to a bad precinct. Partnered with the sharp and unflinching Officer Ann Lewis, played by Nancy Allen, Murphy patrols a city where hope is thin and bullets are plenty. When Murphy crosses paths with Clarence Boddicker, brought to menacing life by Kurtwood Smith, and his vicious gang made up of Emil Antonowski, Leon Nash, Joe Cox, and Steve Min, he is brutally executed in an abandoned steel mill. His hand is shot off, his body riddled with bullets, and his life extinguished. Or so it seems. OCP claims the remains, erasing Murphy's identity, erasing his past, and turning him into RoboCop, a towering armored force of nature. His directives are simple: serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. He is unveiled to the press like a new product, a symbol of order in a lawless age. And on the streets he delivers. He apprehends rapists, robs robbers, and storms drug labs with clinical efficiency. His arrival sends shockwaves through the criminal underworld, and even the police begin to question whether he is justice or a ghost in a metal shell.
Excuse me,
But as RoboCop systems run, something human stirs beneath the surface. Flashes of memory, a wife's smile, a son's laughter. His old home, now abandoned and hollow. And in those flashes, Alex Murphy begins to claw his way back from oblivion. But RoboCop's awakening is a threat to OCP, especially to Dick Jones, the cold-blooded senior president of OCP, portrayed by Ronnie Cox, who is secretly in league with Boddicker. Dick Jones was the man behind ED-209, and he's not letting Morton or RoboCop jeopardize his plans. He sets Boddicker loose to clean up loose ends. Bob Morton is assassinated in his own home. RoboCop, investigating Boddicker's activities, follows the trail back to Jones, only to be ambushed by ED-209. After a brutal fight, RoboCop is damaged and cornered. The police, following OCP's order to terminate, turn on him. Ann Lewis finds him broken and bleeding and helps him escape, risking her career and life to protect the man behind the machine. As RoboCop repairs himself in secret, hunted and alone, Boddicker's gang is rearmed with high-tech military-grade weapons, courtesy of Dick Jones. In a cocaine factory owned by the ruthless Sal, Boddicker conducts business like a king until RoboCop arrives. What follows is a brutal firefight, a showdown of steel and blood. RoboCop dismantles the operation, arrests Boddicker, and drags him into the precinct, exposing his connection to Dick Jones. But RoboCop cannot act against a senior OCP executive due to a secret fourth directive hard-coded into his programming, Directive 4, making him unable to arrest Jones. RoboCop is paralyzed by the very system that created him. Jones confesses, smug and untouchable, then sends ED-209 to finish the job. Once again, RoboCop barely escapes, thanks to Lewis. Meanwhile, Detroit burns. Strikes erupt. The police force is at the brink of collapse. ED-209's are deployed on the streets. OCP tightens its grip, enforcing a corporate state with no accountability. RoboCop and Lewis, wounded but determined, gear up for one final confrontation. They storm OCP headquarters in a desperate attempt to bring justice where the law cannot. Boddicker and his gang await, armed to the teeth, ready for war. One by one, RoboCop takes them down in a symphony of destruction. Leon Nash is electrocuted in a factory trap. Joe Cox is gunned down mid-ambush. Emile, soaked in toxic waste, meets a grotesque end beneath the wheels of his own comrade's car. Finally, Boddicker falls, his throat punctured with a spike of justice. RoboCop ascends to the top of OCP Tower, where Dick Jones holds the old man hostage during a board meeting. RoboCop, unable to act while Jones is still an OCP employee, stands down. But the old man, now disgusted by Jones's actions, simply says, "Dick, you're fired." The moment the words leave his mouth, Directive 4 vanishes. RoboCop raises his arm and fires. Jones crashes through the window to his death. The board is stunned, silent. The old man, impressed, asks RoboCop his name. He turns, a flicker of humanity behind the visor, and says, "Murphy." He walks away, not as a machine, not just as a man, but something new, something more.
Excuse me, I have to go. Somewhere there is a crime happening.
A symbol, a reckoning. In a world where the lines between man and machine, justice and profit, soul and software blur, he is the razor's edge. This summer, prepare for a future that feels dangerously close. Part man, part machine. All Corporation RoboCop.